Investor Connect podcast program. This is Hall T. Martin. I'm the host of the show, in which we interview angel investors, venture capital, private equity, family offices, and many other investor groups for startups and growth companies. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for joining us. Well, hello, this is Hall Martin with Investor Connect. Today I'm here with Mark Lesney of Chilligence. Mark, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Hall. I really appreciate it.
So what was your background before joining Chilligence? What did you do before this one?
So I actually kind of have a different background than most. I actually came from the retail-automotive space as a vice president of operations with a large automotive company that was acquired by Blackstone Group and kind of worked on that side of it.
Well, great. And so what led you to start working in the M&A finance space?
Well, I mean, I've been interested. I've got several friends in the startup space that throughout the last few years have gone through fundraising, M&A, acquired by the likes of Goldman Sachs and Accenture, and kind of got really excited just kind of seeing what their experience was like and started learning about the entrepreneurship in the startup space. And then really got even more intrigued by it when a friend of mine, Will Hurley, he goes by, he was going through an acquisition, and his son, Brooks Hurley, kind of saw a need in the space that wasn't quite being filled yet, and sat down with me and said, "Hey, I understand that you're looking to get out of retail, and you've been really interested in tech in a while now, and you've been studying and learning the space, and I've got this idea for a SaaS platform that kind of bridges the gap between finance and M&A. Here it is. Kind of, what do you think about it? Do some research, and is it something you're interested in?" And I spent about a week and a half kind of thinking it over and researching the idea, and really just got excited about it, and I've decided to make the leap.
Well, that's great. So what's your advice for people that are investing in the M&A finance space? What would you tell that investor to do before he writes that first check?
Well, I think that it's evolving so quickly now. There's so many people involved in the market space, especially in all the big cities with startups and great ideas coming out left and right. I think that, really, obviously, having a passion for the current project I'm working on now, I'm going to speak a lot to due diligence side, but not just doing kind of the standard due diligence process of, hey, let me see your 1-year model, let me see financials, let me see your pitch deck, but really asking some really important questions, some intelligent questions based specifically on them, their space, and making unique for each deal and each actual opportunity, and really kind of evolving the way that we're doing some due diligence and making sure we're making smart investments.
Well, great. Well, the industry is evolving very rapidly. You talked about that before, but can you give us some more details about which direction it's going?
Well, I think it's evolving past just data rooms and exchanging information and an attorney on this side and attorney on that side. I mean, we have to get past that. We have to incorporate some smart data solutions and industry best practices in this sector and make sure there's more success on both sides of the equation, ensuring a smooth deal and there's no interruptions, and kind of utilizing some modern technology of doing that and evolving from the way we've done it for the last 10 or 15 years.
And so how do you see the growth rate of the sector going? Is it going up, and by how much?
I mean, I would imagine, as all your listeners would know, I mean, the startup space and investing, angel, at every level is booming across the U.S. There's some crazy statistics on the amount of companies being created in the last few years. So, I mean, I see it evolving in a huge growth every single day. It seems like I'm getting another email from someone about another large MMA done or another round raise or this company doing crowdfunding. And it's booming at an exponential rate right now.
So, of course, with the boom comes challenges. So what are the challenges in the M&A finance space? Say regulatory or technical or market. What do you see as the challenge startups face doing this?
Well, I think that as it's evolving so quickly, we're finding unique challenges. Regulatory wise, there's obviously at a large level some SEC regulations ensuring that you're using accredited investors and those types of things. But I mean, really, there seems to be a lot of challenges with there's so many deals and so much deal flow. How do we navigate that, right? How do we ensure that we're looking at all the best deals, weeding through the noise, and ensuring that good companies are getting funded and people with great ideas that can change the world are receiving that funding, but in a way that our investors aren't over risking themselves and getting themselves in a bad situation. There's been stories recently where people wrote checks for investment on some pretty good opportunities. They sounded great, but they didn't know that particular people involved had lawsuits pending and these types of things, and ended up really wasting a lot of money and a lot of time. So I think that there's going to continue to be those types of challenges, and we really have to look for utilizing, like I said, some smart technology, some smart data, and ensuring the right deals are getting funded quickly and efficiently.
Well, that's great. So how does Chilligence fit into this landscape? What do you guys do?
Well, I think that we kind of bridge that gap, right? We bridge the noise between a data room sending a cold email to info@investor.com. We kind of have a unique approach being a SaaS platform on both sides of the equation. Imagine as a startup, you can say, hey, let me sign up for a Chilligence profile. Let me take a look here. Okay, based on the sector I'm in, based on the round that I'm funding, here's really based on industry best practices, the best 10 or 15 questions that can really put the best foot forward for a potential investor. And I think us utilizing that kind of approach of educating the entrepreneur, educating the startup founders of, hey, here's some data points. Here's where you can find those items. Here's some best practices. Let's get that forward. Let's put it to the investor. And I think on the flip side of that, us utilizing some artificial intelligence and some things that we're working on the investor side, we can say, hey, instead of just taking these cold emails and wasting time on deals, let's put together your best practice 15 questions based on a sector, based on a specific fintech startup or a CRM platform. Those are totally different places in the space. And we've got to ask those questions more efficiently and utilizing our technology to say, hey, here's 15 smart questions that we can weed through the noise and ensure that we're looking at the best deals, the best time. And I think that our unique approach of educating the entrepreneur, educating the startup side, and helping bridge that gap on the investor side and letting them invest with confidence is really the best approach.
Well, who is your ideal user profile? Who is the best user of your kind of product?
We believe that everyone. We say that, obviously, that's a broad assessment, but whether you're starting a cupcake company or a fintech startup, or you want to get into angel investing, you want to start a VC fund, we think that we can fit the mold for all of those in an M&A situation or just starting out, filing your entrepreneur incorporation, running that stuff through our platform, really starting to build that up is the best approach. So we think that we've got a wide variety of potential customers.
Well, that's great. And where do you plan to take the product? What direction do you see it going in the future?
Well, like I said before, I think that us not utilizing some machine learning and some smart data would not be smart. So what we see is utilizing some machine learning on every aspect of it, from, hey, where do I find this? What does this question mean on the entrepreneur side? Let's extrapolate some data, help them figure that out. And then on the investor side, like I said, there's enough data out there, there's enough knowledge out there. We could say, hey, based on your investment needs, here's 10 or 15 questions, like I said, these are critical for the space, critical for this role you should be asking. And then based on your questions that you're asking as an investor, here's what we think the success of the deal could be. And utilizing some machine learning to get that done is really where we see in the horizon of us being even more effective.
Well, that's great. Well, in the last few minutes that we have here, what else should we cover that we haven't?
I think that pretty much covers it. I think that most people listening to this understand the base knowledge of what a deal is and a transaction. And I'm sure they're going to think to themselves, well, yeah, you're right. I can't believe there's not a SaaS platform doing that. We've got to evolve past data rooms and attorneys and let's start educating our entrepreneurs. Let's get the investors involved. Let's get some really good deals funded and everybody wins.
Well, that's great. Well, how best for listeners to get back in touch with you?
Well, obviously, you can find me on my LinkedIn, our website, www.chilligence.com. That's CHILLIGENCE. You can reach us there. We're on all the social media platforms. Same thing under Chilligence. So reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you.
Great. We'll put that in the show notes. I want to thank you for joining us today and hope to have you back for a follow-up soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Investor Connect helps investors interested in startup funding. In this podcast series, experienced investors share their experience and advice. You can learn more at investorconnect.org. Paul T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.